Welcome to the boating adventure. Well, a very good morning to you. It is Saturday the 7th of December 2024 and we are in the midst of a storm, a named storm. It's Storm Dara, and I've just driven down from Derby in quite torrential rain, and it's not eased off yet at all, so I need to get myself settled and then decide what I'm going to do this weekend. Okay, so I've spent the morning sorting myself out, and it has finally stopped raining. It was torrential earlier, but it's very windy. I can see from some of the flags on the boats in front of me just how much they're blowing. So I think I've made the right decision not to take the boat out today. I'm here for about 2 or 3 days, so if it calms down a bit, then I'll take the boat out tomorrow or even Monday for a quick spin. So what I'm going to do instead is I've brought some equipment with me because I want to start doing some alterations to the toilet. It needs upgrading, and I'll show you what I want to do. So when I first bought the boat, I got some of this sticky back plastic to give it a sort of a metal effect, and it was okay to begin with. Behind here is plywood, and on this side is plywood. That obviously it's been insulated, and then the sticky back plastic put on top. But fundamentally that is the side of the boat, so that is glass reinforced plastic, and I can't do any screwing into that, otherwise we're going to create some leaks. And also down there, the trouble with anything that's sticky on a boat, especially in the summer, it gets very hot and things like this start to come away no matter what sort of glue you use. And I've used some really strong industrial spray glue, but it all comes away in the end. So what I want to do is I can screw directly into that, and I can put some battens from here to here, and from here to here. So what I intend to do is to buy some tongue and groove, just like I have on the ceiling of the swamp duck, and I'm going to line the toilet area with the tongue and groove. And if I put the battens up here, then I can also have some across here. I can still have my window cut out and the vent cut out, and I can also improve the roof. At the moment that is just the insulation. I had to remove the sticky back from that because when I changed the handrail on the top there, I needed to get to the screws that were coming through there. So that's what I intend to do. I intend to line all this with wood, with the tongue and groove, and then I can paint it white, and it'll be more or less in keeping with the rest of the cuddy. So my first job really is to get this all measured up, and then there is a Wickes not too far away, so I can make a visit and purchase some bits of wood to try and get this done. So I managed to get to Wickes and buy some wood. My first job now is to get the battens in. So if I do a batten across here, Might just have to lose this for a minute or two. Lose that, and then put the batten across there, one there, and then one across here. And I've bought some little corner brackets so that I can fix the batten to the bracket, and then the bracket to the side piece here and here. I'm going to have to remove this as well for a moment. Don't know whether you can hear the boat moving around, but it's like being on the high seas at the moment. There's so much wind. The Chinese diesel heater is working overtime, and it's really warm on the boat. So that's the first batten put in. Now I need to put one just here above the window. So I've moved that top one up a little bit so it'll support the roof when that goes in. So my next batten needs to go about here. It can't go quite up to the window because there's some 240 volts wires going underneath that insulation. That will give me enough support for this back piece. Well, a very good day to you. It's Sunday the 8th of December 2024, and it's still raining and it's still very windy, so it was supposed to ease off this afternoon. I can't see that happening, to be honest. It looks pretty grim out there. It's very, very windy. There's no point struggling taking the boat out. I'm just going to carry on doing this work that I've started on the toilet. I do need to go back to Wickes and buy some more of this battening material. I didn't get nearly enough. I need a couple more lengths of this and a few more screws. It's amazing how many screws it takes to get all these battens and things up. And I also need some more of those little L-shaped joints. That would be good. So that's my first trip. I need to pick up some more diesel for the diesel heater. It's been on all night. So it needs topping up. You certainly need it. It's absolutely freezing out there. I don't like using fan heat. I don't like running that too much. It's not quite the same sort of thing really. You just get this very intermittent heat. It doesn't last, whereas the diesel heater just provides a nice background heat, which is much nicer. So I'm off to get some diesel, then I'm off to Wickes, come back and carry on. And if we just look out of the window, we can see what the conditions are like. This bit of film could have been taken yesterday because it's no different. It's not quite as windy. I shouldn't complain because I know some neighbours of mine have lost their greenhouse. Most of it ended up in the garden on the floor. Hope mine's okay, but I think theirs was made of plastic rather than glass, so it would have lifted a lot easier. And I know that there have been some fatalities. At least one person I know that was crushed by a tree falling onto a car. So I think we're relatively okay here. So it's not a joking matter at all really, is it? I'm making some very slow progress. It's quite fiddly working around the window frame there. But my next piece that I put in is the first sort of full length of that bit. I've just got to do a little bit of a cutout for that vent. I don't know how well this will come out on video, but this is the scene outside the boat tonight. It's still very windy, although I think it's dropped a little bit, but I can see the lights on the narrowboats in front blowing around in the wind. It's not as cold as it was last night at the moment. I've only got the heating, the Chinese diesel heater set at 8 degrees here on the deck, and that's perfectly warm inside the cuddy with just the 2 electric bars on as well. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, but I think I'm probably just going to spend the time finishing up as much as I can of that work in the toilet there. Made it quite difficult with the weather, because I'm having to live with all this wood. I can't put it on the deck because it's longer than the deck and it would stick out, and with the weather how it is, it either wouldn't be there because it will have blown away, or it would just go so wet and soggy that it wouldn't be worth using. So I'm having to sleep with it. Okay, so I'm making some progress on that little section there, which is the most difficult one to do. I've just put that grill back temporarily. I might find something a little nicer than that. Once I've got the ceiling sections in, and they'll be running the same way as the rest of the boat, like that. They'll go across here, then there will be another little strut there going all the way around just to tidy it up, and that will be painted blue, and the rest will be painted white, and then that'll be in keeping with the rest of the cuddy. Now I've got the first of the battens for the next piece, and I've done that so that it forms a little bit of gap there, so that I can bring a piece of wood to meet this coming down, and that will box all that bit off out of the way. This is a shelf support. There's one the other side, and this has obviously been there a long time because like most of the screws on this boat, they're not the posi drives, they're the old flathead screws. Very difficult to operate these days. So as I've gone along, I've replaced all of the screws as far as I can, but you just find the odd couple like these that need to come out and be replaced. Okay, so it's now Monday the 9th of December, and I'm about to leave the marina, and just look, the sun has actually made an appearance after all that, and the wind seems to have died. That flag's not really doing that much, it's just breezy, that's all. Nothing that would stop taking the boat out, but hey ho, it wasn't to be. But I've done quite a lot of work in that toilet area. It's not finished yet by any means, so it's a little bit of a project to keep me going for the next few weeks with the run up to Christmas. So I'll catch you later. Well, a very good morning to you. It's Sunday the 17th of December 2024, and I've come over to the marina today just to spend the day here doing a few jobs. It's really sunny, so I'm going to take advantage of that, do some cleaning. I've got myself a new bottle of boat wash. This is quite a strong concentrate detergent, so I'm going to put some of that on the outside of the boat, give it a good clean, keep the green stuff at bay, and I've also got a fresh spray here to use on the canopy, on the vinyl, and keep that looking clean and smart, and keeping the rain out, more importantly. So that's my first job. is to give the boat a wash using these products. But actually before that, a cup of tea. Once I've washed the boat, I'm going to spend a little bit more time doing the upgrading of the toilet. I've got a plane with me today, not an aeroplane, just a wood plane, so I need to plane some of the sides of the planks that I'm putting in. So that's my job for today: clean the boat and do some more work on the toilet area. Oh, I need to mention the first job that I had to do this morning was to replace the flag. It got rather torn and damaged in the last named storm. It was on its way out anyway. They're only quite thin and flimsy, these flags that I buy. They lose the colour after a while as well. So I invested in a new one. So that's been put to adorn the back of the boat. I've mixed this up with water to a ratio of 1 to 100. So I put in 100 millilitres and then I added 2 litres of hot water. That way this is going to last quite some time. The worst part of the build-up of the algae is around the deck furniture, the cleats and the pulpit rail here. So once you've applied some of that boat wash, it just comes off very easily, just wipes off. And you just need to keep doing this to keep on top of it. Kind of see here what happens if you don't keep on top of it. And you also get a build up around the rubber seals on the window, so it's a good idea to keep those clean, otherwise they start to perish. You also get a build-up of green here on the canopy, on the stitching. You really don't want that because it's going to make the stitching go all rotten. So that needs to come off, and it all needs to be cleaned and polished up. Keep that at bay. So just for the next few weeks, I've put a board at the back of the boat there. I'm not particularly worried in this marina about the build-up of ice or anything like that. The only place you might get a large ice sheet is from this area here. If anybody happened to take their boat out whilst it's all frozen up, they could potentially push some ice onto the back of the boat here, although that part of the boat is the strongest part really. The sides I'm not worried about because the pontoon, the way it's constructed, would take care of that, and the front of the boat as well. So just as an added precaution, I've just slotted one of my scaffolding boards at the back there. It's not going to do any harm, and it's quite simple to remove. I've just got it attached to one of the deck cleats. Okay, so the swamp duck's looking a little bit spruced up. Okay, so I've been doing a few jobs in here. I've removed all of that old sticky back paper, and in fact I've taken the floor out here. It was a bit unstable, so I've gone down to the fiberglass level, and you can see the supports there. So I need to put a new bit of flooring in there because it was a bit flimsy. As normal, I haven't done half as much as I intended to do. That's always the case when you're working on a boat. It takes twice as long as you think. But I have given it a good clean on the outside, which I'm pleased about. Got rid of a lot of the green stuff which plagues the boat. It just keeps it down so that when it comes to taking the boat out, it'll be okay and smart. So that's good. I've also spent some time in the toilet area. Not done what I wanted to do, but just removing that floor I think will make a big difference, because it just seemed a little bit too flimsy, and it looked like the wood was actually cracked in one place, which I guess somebody had done that and then shoved it back and put a cover over the top. I keep finding things like that on the swamp duck. Obviously it's past 52 years, people have done different things to it and not always in the best way. So that will get fixed. It's just a matter of getting some ply. I've kept the old floor and it'll serve as a template, so it's really just a matter of cutting the same size out and hopefully it'll just lay straight back in. That's the plan. Once I've done that, I need to decide on what I'm going to replace the actual flooring surface with. Previously it had got some of those tiles on it, laminate tiles, which I never think are very good on a boat really. You don't want those, it's too damp conditions for that. So I'll think of something else. I may even just paint it and just keep it to a minimum. Okay, so I've been to Wickes and I have bought a large piece of plywood, and I'm going to use the old flooring that I have here as a template. I'm going to draw around it and then I'm going to cut it out using the circular saw and try and make it as exact as I possibly can so it'll fit straight into the boat. I'm not going to put any covering on it until I've actually got it all installed, and then I'm going to paint it. So having drawn round it, I've established that it wasn't cut very straight originally anyway, but I'm going to try and have to replicate the exact template as it is so that it will fit the space. So I'm now trying to create the little finger hole, which enables you to pull this board up and inspect the underneath part and see what's going on between it and the fiberglass of the boat, bottom of the boat. Okay, so I managed to do that without setting fire to the workshop. That's quite smoky. Well, a very good day to you. It is Thursday the 18th of December 2024, and I've just come over to the boat to bring that floor in that I've made in the workshop yesterday and get it fitted to the toilet area. Okay, so after a little bit of gentle persuasion, the flooring is in. That's the new ply, and you can see I've got a little hole there so I can put my finger in and lift the board up if ever I want to inspect what's going on underneath. So I can now carry on with doing the battens on the back there and get some of these planks put in and get all this sorted out. I'm not going to do anything with the flooring now, but I will paint it up when the time comes to get the paintbrushes out. Now this wood that I'm using for the battens, even though it was £7 a piece, it's quite flimsy. And when you're trying to drill at the ends to put a screw through, you've got to be very careful that it doesn't split. So I've been using some tape, some gaffer tape, just put it around the edges and drill through that, because it helps to stop the wood from splitting. Okay, so that's my bottom batten put in. So we now just have to cut some lengths of the tongue and groove. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and an odd piece. That's the first piece done. 5 and a bit more to go. Okay, so I've got all the top bit done there, apart from the little bit at the corner, and the same down below. And I'm starting to put the underside here in. So there's a gap there, and then it screws into a batten that I've put here. And when it's all done, then there'll be another little bit of batten just to hide any workings across there, and then that'll be painted blue. Do need to worry about is this bit here, because I've gone as close to the skin of the boat as I can, but obviously it means it is actually reducing the width of this compartment, and I have to check that the toilet will fit. Now the toilet that was here before wouldn't have done. It was much deeper than this, but I've bought a new toilet and it's got a bigger tank, therefore the toilet sits up higher, so I don't have to have a plinth at the bottom that I had before, and that fits perfectly, and it's got some room here to spare, so we can get the door shut. That looks a whole lot neater. The advantage of this new one is it does have an indicator on it that tells you how full the thing is, and that could be useful, and it gives us a greater capacity. One of the big problems on the inland waterways, there just aren't enough L-sand points, so you do have to kind of plan for it. It's just coming up to 3:45, and it's getting really dark out there on the marina, so I'm running out of wood. I've nearly used all of the tongue and groove up. I've just got about half of one plank left, not enough really to do too much with, but I've got most of this back wall is finished now. There's just a little bit of trimming to go around the edge of the window, and there'll be a little bit of trimming to go along the top there once the ceiling has been done, but I don't have enough tongue and groove at the moment to do the ceiling, and then I've got to get some more tongue and groove for this side. This shouldn't be too difficult to do, and this side, and then there's this shelving unit here which I'm going to take out and sort that out in the workshop. It's now Monday the 30th of December 2024, And as you can see, I have completed painting up that cupboard, and hopefully in the next few days I'm going to take that down to the Swamp Duck and get it finished. I need to buy some more of the tongue and groove from Wix, and then I can finish lining out that toilet, get it all painted up, and the job will be a good one. I estimate, for a matter of interest, it will have cost me around about £200 to do that little job. What we're buying, a new toilet, and wood these days isn't cheap. So with all the screws and little fittings, it's come to, well in the region of £200. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then please consider doing so. It's completely free, and it's a great encouragement to us to keep making these videos. If you've liked it, then please give us a thumbs up and make any comments, because that also helps to push our content up the YouTube algorithm. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and as always, do take care.